Hey there, everyone. Today we're in sunny Florida. Currently, I'm underneath a tree right now, but we're gonna be here at Fabreeko, and we're gonna do a little studio tour and have an interview. And stick
Beyond the
around. Make sure you
trinkets,
hit that like
beyond
button and
the
subscribe.
benchies,
Have a good one.
and it is one thing for me, and it may be a different thing for you.
Uh, yeah.
Shit, he's like full prepared with.
I was.
Look at that. He's gonna give me a quiz. Listen, I finished college. I do not intend on going back for a while. Forever, actually. I'm not. But yeah.
Really? You're done?
No, I'm done. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm good. I have an engineering degree, and I almost have another engineering degree and an aviation degree, and enough degrees for the rest of my life. I'm good.
Why did you decide engineering?
Are we recording already?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, so as a kid, I was one of those kids that you give a toy to, and he would open it up and look at the circuit boards. That was my passion, right? I didn't care what the toy did. I cared about how it worked. My parents didn't understand that at the time, but they were able to help me get there, right? Like as I turned 14, my dad actually, and I never knew this till later, but he talked to. I come from Puerto Rico, which is a small island, right? In my city, there was one computer shop that sold parts back then. Athlon 64 then came out. So as I was turning 14 or 15, where I could actually go and have a job of sorts, he talked to the guy and I was like, "Hey, my son's interested in learning about this stuff. How about I pay his salary and you get him to work for you?" I never knew that. I thought I got hired, right? So I learned about a lot about computers. I learned about the business, about customers there, but I got to play with a lot of PCBs and things like that, and that made me want to get into electrical engineering. Right as I went into school, I realized that I don't really love math as much as an engineer should, but I was really good at it. Right? I'm very good at that logical based stuff. With everything, right? I'm one person that you could give them something and they'll figure out how it works or how to use it pretty quickly. I think a lot of makers have that in them, that we don't read instructions, we figure it out kind of thing.
Yep.
And then when we get stuck, we look at the instructions or the box, at least how it's supposed to look like, right? But yeah, as I was about to graduate, I realized I didn't want to go into the real world and start paying bills and doing all that. So we swapped to a different engineering, right? And actually, it was an aviation degree in the middle. So officially, I am 3/4 of an electrical engineer. I am a computer engineer with a background in cybersecurity and integrated embedded systems, and I have an aviation degree as an air traffic controller. So that is my former training, and by trade, I am essentially a materials engineer, sort of say, right? Because we all know how ABS does and ASA does, and what you should use for this and what you should use for that,
and all the sciences between
exactly
everything.
Yeah. What's funny is I actually hated dealing with boxes and carrying things, and look where I work. But now I'm really happy to open boxes and ship them to people because I know that they're going to have a great reaction when they open and see what's in it.
Yep.
So yeah.
What's the best part of your day?
The best part of my day. It's hard to say because all of my day is enjoyable, right? Whether it's
there's got to be one moment that stands out, one comment in a Discord, one video.
Yeah. So I like it when people receive unexpected things. Like we ran a competition for Big Tree Tech where they got to win a duck, right? One of those customers won a duck and was like, "This is the coolest thing," because he got a box with a black duck in it. He's like, "What's this?" And he posted it and he made a big deal about it. After he made that big deal about it, I was like, "Do you know there's an NFC in it with a $50 gift card?" That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like being able to do challenging things within the company. So for our anniversary, which we never openly celebrated for some reason. I'm a very introverted person for certain things, but we had our anniversary, and instead of like openly celebrating it, we ran a hidden game within our stickers. So,
really,
yeah, there was actually a badger that had I don't know if I could say Loki, but it looked like a Loki. which meant there was more to the sticker than, and it had a barcode at the bottom of the sticker. And if you scanned it with like a QR code app, it wouldn't open. It needed to be done with like an old school barcode scanning app.
Uh-huh.
Some of our newer audience may not know what it is, but that took you to a website which was a 404, but it literally say 40H4 with low keys hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And that page had hidden code in white text. And inside of that, there was the first code, which was a $10 code. But if you clicked on a specific part of it, it would play an audio that was essentially bits, right? Ones or zeros or binary. And that would give you a key, which you use something else. And then you group from a 10 to a 20 to a 50 to a $500 discount. One person cracked it. We had like 10 people participate. It wasn't a lot because it was all like behind the scenes kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very exciting and it was very interesting to create that in an age where AI will solve problems for you. How do you make something that people have to think and they can't just feed it? We made it so that they fed it to AI, to ChatGPT. It will give them the wrong code. And that code, when they try to use it, will give them a $5 discount and say, hey, don't try to cheat. And that was one of my favorite memories, and actually just happened a couple months ago.
Oh, wow. I didn't even hear about it.
No one knows about that. It's still something that in our Discord, there's a place that says Loki Badger, ? And in there's a lot of players. And we even tweaked our bot so that you could ask him questions. And it would answer like, oh, bed mesh, or oh, walls, or top surface. It basically, how far along in the print you are is how close you are to the answer. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of time went into that.
I bet.
and you know, out of thousands of customers that we have, a very small amount participated, but it laid the ground to what may be a game someday or something different as an integration of what we do and what we like to do. Right?
Mm-hmm. 3D printing is nothing but puzzles.
Exactly.
Our whole hobby. So embedding something like that, that's pretty neat. How did you get Fabreeko for a name?
So we wanted something unique, right? Not a lot of people know this, but our original launch name was going to be Creality USA, because Creality was the first brand we had, right? Back when Ender 3s were the hot thing. Going back to, we wanted to provide a good printer that actually worked. The first, 100 Ender 3s that we sold, I opened and squared the frame before the customer got it. Mm-hmm. I realized that wasn't a scalable model because we're making $20 a printer.
Yep.
So it wouldn't have gotten us here, but it laid the ground to where we're at. We never launched under that name. I don't even think Creality knows about that. So, but we were trying to figure out, like, how do we find something that's unique enough that we can market it, and it sounds, has that presence, like Facebook or like GitHub, or it has that feel behind it, and it comes from the word to build or fabricar, or fabricate, from Spanish, and that's kind of how we ended up here. It's unique enough where we could market it and not have to compete with 1,000 other things.
Yep.
And it has that feel, right?
Mm-hmm. When did you start Fabreeko?
So official start date is somewhere around October 2019. I believe we got incorporated slightly after that, so November 2019, and launched our first products somewhere around December or so. So I'm pretty sure that was like when the pandemic started, or about to start, and we saw all of that makers, being at home, everybody was making stuff. So that really helped us get to where we were at. Mm-hmm. And it was very challenging, right? Because we have to get products in, but also everybody's getting sick. So yeah.
It was a scary time too. So
very scary time. Very, very scary time.
Mm-hmm. What were the origins? Like, where did you start?
So I started at home, right? Like any good company, we grew from our house to the garage, and it took over the house. Essentially, my house looked like a warehouse. And the problem was that, well, number one, like my wife didn't like that. But number two, my kids were painting on the boxes we're sending to customers. So they would get a box and it'll be a Voron kit and have like a unicorn or a flower or maybe a couple holes from something they decided to stab it with. Clearly, that doesn't reflect what we wanted to offer them. I think it's super cool that it's customized, but also they may not think that way, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you paid a lot of money for this machine. People were very understanding and actually kind of enjoy that, which I thought was interesting. But we quickly moved from there to a space where we could be and focus and grow it, right? When we started, like, I wanted to sell parts, but I was also using the parts, right? Because I was a maker, and it was more of an excuse to hide things from my wife because she's like, "Why are we getting 10 boxes?" I'm like, "No, it's for Fabreeko," and that helped me, kind of get it. She's like, "Oh, what is this 3D printing thing?" I will have you know that she works for me now, and she is the heart and soul of this place, and she is a maker, and she prints stuff, and she's gotten involved with the community as much as I have behind the scenes, because every time somebody makes a mistake, she's the one who fixes it, who goes grab the right part, make sure it's correct, takes a picture, emails the customer. She is Fabreeko as much as I am. It's just she's not who you guys see.
Mm-hmm. So she's hidden.
Yeah.
So no one knows if she really exists.
One day she'll be the one sitting here, and I'll be doing something else over there. building more stuff for you guys.
My wife and I, we worked together. A couple of different opportunities we had, and we are great together.
Yeah.
We both don't tolerate each other's, and I'm over 7 minutes now. We don't tolerate each other. If it's before 7 minutes, you get pinged for a violation.
Okay.
But we don't tolerate each other's bullshit.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is what it is. This is what's got to get done. And we have a blast doing it. I mean, we could be screaming at each other, but we're saying I love you. Like, it's our own little speech. We have our own little movement, our own little...
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I can relate to that, right? Because out of all of our employees and people who work here, I am the toughest on her because I can't be the toughest on her, right? She doesn't get any slack when she makes a mistake. She needs to be better, and she's really, really good at it.
Yeah, because you bring each other up.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not like one person's putting down the other. You bring each other up.
And it takes a special bond to work with your significant other.
If you're working with your significant other and it's working and you're happy, that's the bond.
Absolutely. Going home and being able to switch from work to home to now it's kids' time to let's go back to work. It's a lot of understanding, a lot of trust, and I mean, sometimes I show up at home at 11 and she knows I'm here, but it's a special bond, like you say.
Yeah. So one of the things I had to do for the longest time was buy gift cards. Mm-hmm. And I know that you know who I am now. So gift cards were my way of hiding money.
Yeah.
And
that's funny. That is very funny.
Now I know you know who I am.
Yeah, we all yeah. And you're one of many.
Yes.
Who do it that way. I can't even begin to tell you how many people use their credit card points to buy Visas to convert them to Fabreeko gift cards because they don't expire. Right?
Okay.
So they have clever ways around it, not only to hide the final price you paid, but also to make sure that money doesn't disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I got a question from a viewer.
Yeah, some deep questions. That's good though. It's good for people to see the human aspect of.
Part of my channel is coming at this from a newbie experience because I'm a newbie, and we're just having fun and enjoying things. And Fabreeko is one of those companies that you see a lot, but you don't know, like the behind.
Like you said, there's a hole. There's a hole that needs to be filled with the information.
Yep, it's a big black hole. It's like you go online and you can find 5 different answers right now.
Yeah.
On when you guys opened.
Yeah. So when we opened, perception is reality, right? So when we opened, nobody wants to buy from the mom and pop guy that's running it out of his closet, right? So we had to kind of give that sense of being bigger than we are.
Fake it till you make it.
Not anymore. Yeah, for lack of a better word, fake it till you make it. There may have been times where I made it answered as Hector and as something similar to Hector. just to give the appearance that it's not only one tech support guy, even though it's always me, right? And it's not what I want to do, but it's what makes people feel confident in coming back, right? I think we've been one of the most transparent companies from our start. Even to this day, like we have a pre-order tracking page where you could track the pre-order directly from the supplier to us. Nobody gives you that information. Nobody shares their tracking number.
Mhm.
Nobody, because you could tell how many they order. Because what I don't really understand why not, but they don't. We do, right? So that level of transparency and that Amazon level of service, it was very important for what I wanted to build.
I like that little comic drawing that you have for your in progress delivering here screen. I love that.
So we don't have a graphic designer. That's me, right? I got to build stuff like that.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
More people need, more companies need to do that.
Yeah. I think, and so that comes down from, I don't want to call a company 7 times to know what happened with this, but I also want to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And did it change from the last half hour to the next hour? So our pre-order tracking page is an evolving concept, right? I would say it's near a release candidate right now. Originally, it was me making the images by hand, and I had to make it. And every time it changed, I had to make it. Now it actually feeds off of spreadsheet that anybody could update in the company, and the images are dynamic. They get created in real time. So whenever there's a change in the spreadsheet, it'll automatically update the web page, and the image will change.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot quicker than what it used to be.
I can imagine.
And in the future, the moment we get that tracking number from the supplier, it's going to integrate to UPS, FedEx, and USPS, pull that data live and update the sheet. Hey, it's in custom. Hey, it's there. Hey, we got it delivered. And that will really be pre-order live tracking.
Mm-hmm.
One step further is integrating it to our email and grabbing those numbers directly for it. So you take away the human element of me having to say, oh, I got the email, let me update this, to it is a completely automated process. And that is the end goal for that product.
Automation can make or break your company. It's a difficult challenge. If you take your time and do it right,
absolutely,
I think it's like a huge benefit.
Yeah.
And then there's other companies out there who they rush automation and wonder why their documentation fails or everything else. It just doesn't work right. Speaking of shipping, you got a shipment of Manic Release PC cases.
Yeah.
Right. How has that been working? Like, what's the process?
So that's actually an interesting project you brought up. We saw Manic come up with that, and I thought it was a very clever and cool way to integrate both of our passions. Right. I like to build computers. I'm sure you do too.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing in that aspect of let's 3D print a case, and I believe the project was started by somebody else. You just kind of put it all together. Bringing in manufacturers like LDO to make the kits, I mean, that was fantastic. So that's actually our very first, what we're calling it, pay it forward, where we get to donate 100% of the profits of that product to the maker and the Boron Space. That product just arrived, and I think we do still have stock for it. And we're cutting the panels to ship them out. So
sweet.
In the next day or two, everybody who pre-order one will get it. By the time this video come out, everybody should have it. And if they don't, they should email me.
You heard that here.
Yeah. Info@Fabreeko.com, support@Fabreeko.com, or h.lorenzo@Fabreeko.com.
I didn't find you any of those places.
I know. that's because we're still doing a pretty bad job at telling our story, right? And we need more people like you to come make me tell my story, because it's actually quite enjoyable.
I don't know myself. It's on there. You just had a new announcement on your Discord. It's the printer, the 185 Micron Plus, I think it is.
Yeah.
You want to tell us about it?
Right. So the Micron platform has been around for a while now. It started as a 160. It evolved to the Plus. We were one of the first vendors to have the Plus variant in collaboration with LDO. So they made some of the hardware, and they made some of the components, and we provided our Honey Badger parts as well to make it, something better than what you would buy off the shelf. LDO released their own full version, which I think sells for $849.99. Fantastic hardware in it. and we still had our version. And what we decided to do with our version is tweak it so that it could be built with parts that you may have on your drawer, right? So we all tend to accumulate parts as we upgrade. So, like, I know Penguin over there is going to have some Rebos soon on his drawer. So maybe he adds a Pi in a MCU and he has the whole printer. He doesn't have to buy a kit that comes with all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm calling that like enthusiast friendly or whatever you want to call it. You don't get to pay for the electronics that you already have.
No.
But you have all the hardware and the parts that are specific to the Micron so that you can build it.
I like that. Enthusiast friendly.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Honey Badger. How did Honey Badger come to be? Like, let's start with the name.
So the name was pretty funny. I had an idea, and at this time, printing was evolving. So there was things that I wanted to play with that may not have been thought of being important in printing. So everybody sold rails, but the rails were low preload. They were clearance preload, essentially. Those had slop in them. So I reached out and I was like, hey, I want some higher preload rails. And they were like, yeah, we can make them, but you don't need that. I was like, I don't care if I don't need it. I want it. Like, I'm paying for it. Like, why? Basically, we got a lot of walls put up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going to bed that night and I was like, I want this. Like, I want to play with a high preload rail. Woke up the next morning and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a brand and it's going to be called Honey Badger. And it's going to be great because it's going to be a little bee that flies and does and stings. And then I go to the computer and I type Honey Badger and I'm like, it's not a bee, it's this thing that fights with lions and does crazy stuff. And it's tiny and it's perfect because that's what we were at the time. We were tiny. We were a company that was hungry and wanted to push development, but we were not big, right? We're not who we are now.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great representation of us, a great name. I think the character it's a big representation of who we are. Like, we're curious, we want to play with stuff, we want to break stuff, and we kind of want to innovate. And the only way to do that is just to push the boundaries and learn what's possible. So yeah.
Do you build or 3D print? Do you build 3D printers or 3D print?
So I enable people to build 3D printers.
Okay.
And that's a funny way of putting it. I have built about 1.5 machine in my lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
By that I mean I built multiple halfway through or 3/4 of the way through. I think there's been one machine that I pushed all the way through, and that was I think it happened to be a rad rig, I believe, because at the time we needed one for them when there was nobody else to do it. I got it done. It was very enjoyable. I have done like the building and the software part of a Voron, but never continuously on one machine. Yeah. Typically I start it and then somebody else finishes it. Just the nature of working for 3D printing,
Mm-hmm.
I get pulled 100 different ways to figure things out, and I may not always have time for what I enjoy, But knowing that you guys get to do what you enjoy and with my products, that to me is amazing.
I have the LDO 2.4 300, and my problem with it is I'm trying to do it on a live stream and make content for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm calling it movie magic or TV magic, where I build 3 of the 4 components.
Yeah.
I'll do the one on stream.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are like, poof, they're there. Yeah, because it's like, I just want to get my hands in there.
Yeah, yeah. You just want to get it done too. It's a lot.
I want to play with it.
Yeah.
There were some people asking about fasteners and nuts and screws and things like that. If you guys would start selling them in packs, one person was like, they should have 100 pack, and the other person says,
I don't disagree.
It's taken part in, like, are you guys planning on doing that or?
So yes, we're actually going to start carrying some of the LDO hardware because it's very different from what you could get out there. They're nickel plated, I believe, or zinc plated. They're like sort of blackish and very strong, but don't rust. Right? I want to make that available for the maker community, and I want to be able to bring in not just that, but like the little switches and the little plugs and the specific parts that you may need that are in that 500 component kit, but you don't need the other 490 parts that are in it.
Yep.
The challenge we have with that is being able to produce those at a price point that is competitive with Amazon, but we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I think having a very efficient way of sorting what's in the warehouse, right? Because what's interesting is we have many kits that could be broken down in sub-assemblies, and those sub-assemblies can be used to build other parts, right? So our system could have a SKU which looks to you like a 100 pack of this, but it's really composed of 25, 25, 25, 25 that are also used in this other parts.
Mm-hmm.
That's where optimization of our inventory comes to play to keep prices where it's affordable and we can compete without having to buy tens of thousands of one product.
The Nevermore Carbon.
Yes, the Nevermore Carbon. When is it going to be in stock?
Yes.
Yes.
So I started down this rabbit hole because my kit comes with a Nevermore parts, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't. I know I have to order it separately,
mm-hmm.
And so I went down the rabbit hole, and I couldn't find not one official carbon. And according to their GitHub,
yeah,
there's all this material science behind it.
There is.
So I'm trying to get the one that I need.
Yeah, and nobody sells it.
No one.
So I'm going to walk you through a bit of the controversy here. They had that name was licensed by a supplier who I believe used to be in Europe. That supplier sold Nevermore Carbon to all of us. Essentially, he was expanding, and I'm guessing he hit some snags along the way. I don't want to assume things. Essentially, some of the orders to the smaller suppliers didn't go out on time or didn't go out at all.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, I believe he's been removed from the Voron Discord. A lot of the bigger players or the bigger guys stopped purchasing because we were seeing what was happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in order to make carbon like that be worth it, we needed to buy half a pallet or a pallet. And that is a significant amount of money that we import from Europe. And it's not, it is a very cash intensive business because there is a lot of parts in stock here. That money needs to be allocated to something that we know is going to make it here, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why the supply dried up. I could guarantee you we're all working on it. Some of us are working directly with Nevermore. Some of us may not, but it's going to get sold in the next 6 months, I believe.
Okay. All right. Got a really big question. Are you going to Rocky Mountain Rep Rap?
Absolutely. You will see us there this year. You will see us at Printopia. And we might make an appearance at Murph. Murph is the one that started it all. And it is the smallest one of them all probably now, but it's still a really, really cool place to go hang out.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's just us walking around and giving away free stuff, like we'll be there.
You were missed. You know that, right? Like the whole community was like...
I know. And, 2025 was a very busy year. I also had some complications with my back and stuff. I didn't want to push it. Mm-hmm. I wanted to have a year to get in better shape and be able to, go push 9-10 hour days in the community, just like I used to. Mm-hmm. So this year we'll be there, even if I have to be like sitting down the whole time.
I talked to your employees when I was waiting earlier.
Yeah.
They all have good stuff to say. All of them.
I
couldn't grab up any dirt. You know that, right?
You could try. There is no place that will be more flexible or understanding with them than this.
Like they are happy. Like they're like little unicorns jumping through a field.
We have a family meal every day. We provide them with lunch. They get paid a fair amount. They are able to take days off if they want. It is really an enjoyable place to work because I wanted to build it that way. It didn't have to feel like work. I don't want to come to work to a place that it's like grindy and you have to do things because you have to. No. Like if this is my company, we're doing things my way, just like we do things our way when we ship.
The guys in there packing boxes with a smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no music. Well, not while we're here, but there's no music at the moment.
Yeah.
And he's packing boxes with a smile. I'm just saying that's got to say a lot. You got to be proud about that.
It does, and I am very proud of that. I think we have multiple people who have not only enjoyed working here, but also depend on what we do, and we've been able to help them grow. And some of the people we have in certain areas may not have traditional qualifications, but they do a really, really good job of what they do, because we hire based on who you are instead of what the paper says that you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big part of how we were able to build this family. Like, we sit down and eat. We're still working. We're still talking about stuff, but it doesn't feel like it, right?
Yep.
I wake up every morning to go to work happy when I used to hate waking up in the morning. I did work a corporate job, and it wasn't like this. It was a lot of meetings and a lot of like, let's talk about that, or like, what are your KPIs? And then that's not how we do things here. Like I said, we're enthusiasts first, and as long as we're serving a community and things are going out on time, everybody has to smile.
Projects in the garage, Alex. Mm-hmm. He wants to know a question, and he must have asked 10 different times in 10 different streams, direct message and on videos. He wants to know, and I'm quoting, cheeseburger, can I has?
I don't even know what to say to that. It's
he's right there.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I don't know what to say.
So we're taking that as a no.
I'm pretty sure that's a code for something that I may not recall at this time.
I think it's a meme or something,
or probably, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like these kids in 6'7".
Yeah,
probably makes no sense.
It's okay. We still like. I think Alex does a great job, and we support, all the channels who want to do cool stuff like you guys.
Yeah. Okay. So Zybertech wants to know if you're going to start doing the weekly deals of the week.
Yeah. So that's something we started, and I was very excited about it. You quickly realize that it is a lot of work to figure out what we're putting in there, right? Because we don't just want to throw whatever we have overstock of or whatever we have the margins on. Like, ideally, they're cohesive, so they go together, so that you're able to, kind of capitalize on what you're buying. That is something that we plan to bring back on. Black Friday killed us. Like, you guys did a great job on Black Friday. Like, everybody was here, and we ran overtime and double shifts, and we got everything out. What you don't know is that on Black Friday, I decided to switch packing systems, and everything went to scanning base because, there's been a change in the way things
on
are
Black
done.
Friday. You did that
the weekend before Black Friday, during the Black Friday weekend.
Okay, but you're still working out the bugs.
We are still working out the bugs, but we launched on Monday, which was the first day of shipping for Black Friday orders. But I'm gonna backtrack real quick and just walk you through it. So we've all known that there's been a lot of tariffs and a lot of changes in the way imports work. We didn't change our prices, right? Our prices are exactly the same they were before, but our costs did change. So now we can't afford to make mistakes like we used to because there isn't the margin for it, right? Mm-hmm. So instead of passing that on to you, we're still maintaining our pricing and implementing optimization structures like that new packing system so that we minimize mistakes.
Yeah. Which
works in many ways, right? So you get the right parts the first time. Also, we don't get to have to ship more parts or ship parts back. And it was an executive decision on Friday at the 11th hour. We're cutting over to this new system Monday, or we're not shipping, and I don't care. Like, this is what's happening. So me and most of my guys showed up on Saturday and Sunday and Monday very, very early, put barcodes on every single product we manufacture, put barcodes on every product that didn't have a barcode, and entered every barcode into the system so that we could cut over to this new system that has scales, and it's all very different from what we used to pack. There was a time where we used to pack with a list, and everybody needed to know what the products look like and what they are. Mm-hmm. And there was no SKUs, and there was no labels on what it was. It's just you knew what a nozzle looked like, and you know what size it was, and that was that. We were still very efficient at packing like that, but it wasn't like it is today. Today we scan. Today I can hire people off the street and scale a lot quicker because it's broken down by section, it's broken down by SKU.
With consistency.
And they get to scan it and it beeps, beep, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of fun too. You told me our guys are smiling because they're essentially playing a game with every single order to get it right. And it's very rewarding to hear that. And you're ready to print. I like it. I still pack orders to this day. I don't have to, but it's very enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And there is that healthy competition between the guy who picks and the guys who packs, and who's really more efficient and how many orders are they pushing out? Yeah. So, yeah, we try to keep it enjoyable.
I love numbers. I'd be the guy who wins.
Yeah. Competitive.
Figure it out.
The competitive factor it's a key way of making things fast and enjoyable.
How we do it asks, have you seen an increase, decrease, or just steady state on open source business?
So that's a great question. And it directly impacts our business, right? So ever since the implementation of certain policies and things that I don't really want to go into, but there has been a cost increase in ordering from manufacturers overseas for us and for the makers, right? When you order over AliExpress, things are more expensive now. I think that led to a stall in innovation and a decrease of new projects coming out and modifying this and modifying that because it's a lot more expensive now. So open source has changed. It has slowed down. It is my belief that it's not going to go anywhere because you're always, once a maker, always a maker. I have printers that print and I find them very boring because they print. Mm-hmm. I like modifying stuff. I like race cars and my printers are my race cars. I tune them. I put in and they give me back what I put in.
Yep.
And that's something you can't do. You can't replace that. And so to go back to that, we saw a stall on new things, and we took it upon ourselves to create or have an in-house dev team with different people who are mechanical engineers and physicists and this and that. Yeah, I know we have a very diverse team of people, very talented people, and they are making parts. And you're going to see us start releasing components for the DIY maker. And yeah, we're going to pivot into some more commercial stuff because that's what's selling right now. We got to keep the business running so that we can make those parts, but we're not going anywhere on the DIY space. We have a firm commitment to it, and it's what we all enjoy.
Are there any upcoming products that you're excited about?
There are many upcoming products that I am very excited about. There's a particular nozzle that should be releasing by the time you see this video. That one I'm very excited about. You're going to be taking one home to test it, so I'm sure you'll be excited about it too. Can't talk about it much right now, but it's definitely a game changer, and it does what we do, which is...
So we'll have to schedule, I'll come back on the books.
Absolutely. Either that or a web call or something, whatever you need.
Where do you see 3D... How do you see 3D printing evolving in the next 5 years?
That's also a great question. I think it's been evolving from single materials, single color prints to multi-materials with the AMS and things like box turtle and other things. The future is in tool changing, in my opinion, especially now that models are being created with that in mind, with the ability to color things instead of just kind of having to glue them or just having to print something one color. It is a lot less waste. It is a lot faster than using an AMS or a box like that. So something like Stealth Changer, Snapmaker U1, I think that's the future. I think we're going to see a lot more of that, and everybody's going to move over to that and away from this AMS boxes and things. We may still have a hybrid system where you have multiple tools, but also an AMS on one of the tools. Definitely doable. I also think that 3D printing is going to evolve with the use of multi-tools because it will enable us to do different materials in the same print. And that is a different way of thinking, right? Because
it really is.
Yeah, because you're able to do a hardcore, like a hard shell with a soft core, and maybe able to do some dampening in there, or maybe able to do some compliance mechanism in there. Whatever it is that you could dream of, you will have access to, because you can mix PIBA with this and with that. And I don't know where that's going to take us, but I'm very excited about it.
Actually making airless basketball.
That was really cool.
Like a lot of people, I can't do that on my machines.
Yeah.
It's some of these support materials is like, they're next gen. Like we were looking them up the other day, and it's like, wow, this one's water soluble, and this one does this, and this one does that, and
exactly,
it's extensive.
So supports have always been like the redheaded stepchild of printing, right? Anybody who designed models that need a support was like, I'm not printing that, because it looked like crap back in the day. And then CPAP came along, and it was better, but it was still so loud and so annoying and whatnot. Interface materials are fantastic. Like we've used Bamboo's interface material, and we used hips, and we haven't used PVA yet or any of the water soluble stuff. But it enabled us to print stuff that I would have looked at it 2 years ago and be like, hell no, I'm not printing that. Like, that's not happening, because it was not doable. So as the hardware catches up to what's possible now, the designers are going to come up with newer challenges and newer ways of implementing that ability. And that's super interesting.
Yes, especially my thinking is, there's some people in my group, they says the Voron 2.4, they're never going to go hit 3, right? A stock Voron 3, but with like stock tool changers is how I picture a 3 would be.
Yeah. So I don't know what the Voron team is working on, or if there will be a version 3. Sure? I don't know. Yeah. I don't. And even though I did, I don't know. Right? 2.4 was such a good product that it's hard to improve upon, right? There was little parts and quality of life that we could do, but the base structure of it was a really good machine. Trident was a really good machine. You know, they did a terrific job. Like Steve did a really good job designing the Trident, and it was less popular than the 2.4 up until recently. Like, people are starting to realize that Trident is a very undervalued machine, and it is faster than a 2.4 at times because of that gantry that's not moving. It is every bit as a flagship machine, in my opinion, as the 2.4, but the flying gantry is cooler. So we all like to build that one.
The Delta Flyer with the spider leg looking. The movement is like.
Yeah. So what does a Voron 3 look like? I have no idea. But up until recently, they had no reason to upgrade it. Like, it was a fantastic machine until all this new stuff started coming out. Like, you know, maybe monolith gantry or stuff like that. There's a lot of buzz around that. And it's a really good. Wayne has done a terrific job with that as well. So it would be really cool to see a Voron tool changer.
It would be like
from the factory, by the group,
without having to do the mods and get everything working.
Are we going to see it? I don't know.
Does Lisa really exist? Yeah, she exists. Literally, there's tons of comments about that one. You should bring her to the show with you.
Yeah. I should. She's not here because the kids are off.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, she would have been in this interview with me. It's unfortunate, because I think she would have enjoyed meeting you guys.
So stay here for a couple more hours and she'll be back.
Why don't you guys come over to my house? I'll cook you dinner, and we'll film another section of this. You know, Hector's cooking. Make some kick-ass pizza.
There we go.
That's my other hobby, by the way.
Cooking,
yeah. Cooking is a place where I could disconnect and just put my phone away and get lose myself in, like, making a sauce for an hour. And it's insane, right? Because I'm feeding a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old that like chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
So if they taste my food, that is like one of the biggest accomplishments as a dad that I could have. I'm sure many people could relate to that. If there's not ketchup in it, they may not try it.
I made my kids shrimp once.
Really?
Yes. They wouldn't eat it.
Mhm.
It didn't have bread on the outside.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's not shrimp. Shrimp has bread on the outside.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like that's not chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken has bread on the outside.
So I made the mistake of feeding shrimp to mine and saying, hey, like you'll get an extra few minutes of screen time today if you try it. And she tried it and she loved it. And now she orders shrimp at places. And that is an expensive mistake to make.
No, you did yourself in.
I did. It's fantastic that she's able to try it and like it. And she has tried lobster and other things like that. But God damn, it gets expensive. I miss the chicken nuggets,
I think that's all the questions I have. Do you want to say anything to the viewers?
I think I'm pretty sure I said it earlier in one of the streams. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys, like for making us who we are, for giving us the opportunity to provide things for you and reaching us with your cool project or your idea, or, you want to print something or you need this custom part, whatever it is. Like that interaction we have with the maker community, to me, is one of the biggest benefits of the job. Like the people that I have learned that work for the coolest companies like Boeing or L3 Harris or wherever, and we all share that passion for creating, for pushing, for innovating. I'm just honored to be a part of that journey, for many people. And yeah, it's incredible that I could call this my job, Yep.
And that smile right there says it all, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
How do you feel about interviews now?
We'll see. Yeah. No complaints. That was fun.
Till next time.